All right, let's talk about something really important, but maybe a little under the radar: the well being of the people who train our future dentists. We're doing a global checkup on dental educator stress. Let's get right into it.
Look, it's no secret to anyone in the field that dentistry is a tough gig. You're dealing with immense pressure, right? Tight schedules, anxious patients, and that never ending push for perfection. It is a seriously high stakes world. But here's the thing we don't often ask: what about the people who teach dentistry? If clinicians are feeling the heat, you have to wonder what it's like for their mentors. What kind of pressures are they under, and what's the real toll? Yeah, it's this hidden stress factor that can actually ripple out and affect the entire profession. It's something that just doesn't get talked about enough, so it's about time we put a spotlight on it. Now, everything we're about to cover isn't just our opinion. It's all grounded in a really thorough international study by Bhatia and their team, published in the European Journal of Dental Education. This is where all our facts and figures are coming from. So, the researchers wanted to get a real international perspective on this. They set out to paint a global picture of what the mental health landscape actually looks like for the people teaching dentistry today.
And here's how they did it. They surveyed 247 educators from all over, using a couple of really well-respected, validated tools to measure well-being and stress. The whole point was to get some hard numbers and figure out what's stopping them from getting help if they need it. Okay, so what did they find? Well, to be honest, the results are pretty alarming. The data really shows a profession that's under some serious strain. Let's start with a head-to-head comparison. When you put dental educators up against the general population, it's not a great picture. Their well-being scores are lower, and their stress scores are way higher. Right off the bat, that tells you something is going on specifically within this group. Now, if we zoom in and just look at the educators, this breakdown is so revealing. Less than a quarter of them reported low stress. Think about that. The huge majority is sitting right there in the moderate or even high stress zones. And let's put a number on that. When you add those two groups together, you get 76.5%. That is staggering. We're talking more than 3 out of every 4 dental educators are dealing with significant levels of stress. That's a massive number. So we know there's a widespread issue, but the study went deeper to ask, okay, who is feeling this the most? Who are the specific groups that are most at risk? The first finding is pretty stark. It's the younger educators, those born after 1980. They reported much higher stress levels and lower well-being than their older, more experienced colleagues. It could be anything from the pressure of starting an academic career to just not having those tried-and-true coping mechanisms yet. And the second at-risk group? The folks in research roles. The study showed that staff whose primary job is research had the absolute lowest well-being scores out of everyone. This really points to the unique pressures of that publish or perish world. Chasing funding, getting papers out, it takes a toll. So we've got a stressed-out workforce, and some groups are really feeling the burn. The obvious next question is, are they getting help? Well, unfortunately, the answer is a resounding no, and that leads us to the barriers to seeking help. This stat just stopped me in my tracks. More than half of the educators who felt like they needed support never actually went and got it. There's this huge chasm between knowing you need help and actually taking that step. So what's holding them back? Well, the number one reason is something we can all relate to: just not enough time. But look at what's next: a real lack of confidence that the services would even work, and a surprising number of people who just didn't even know what support was available to them in the first place. And this is so telling. Instead of booking an appointment with a formal service, where are they going? They're turning to each other. They're much more likely to pull a trusted senior colleague aside for a quick, informal chat. It shows a real desire for that personal peer-to-peer kind of support. Now, you might be thinking this is just an issue for universities to solve, but it's not. The well-being of these educators creates a ripple effect that touches every single part of the dental profession, right down to patient care. Just think about it like a chain reaction. It all starts with a stressed, maybe even burnt-out educator. That can directly lead to a dip in training quality. And if the training isn't as good, you get graduates who might be less prepared, maybe less resilient. And the final domino to fall, that can have a real impact on the quality of patient care down the line. So here's the real takeaway. The absolute bottom line. Supporting the well-being of our dental educators isn't just about being nice to academics. It's a fundamental investment in the future quality and safety of patient care. It protects the entire pipeline of our profession.
This research is incredible because it gives us the data. It defines the problem so clearly. But it leaves us with a really big question, and it's a challenge to every single one of us in the dental community. What are we going to do about it? How can we, as a profession, build a better support system for the very people who are shaping our future?